What's up, guys? This is Big Drew and John. This is Titan Lifestyle. We're back every Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Same thing every week. Titan events, therapy of the week, Q&A. And me and John usually pick out a topic to talk about, something usually health and fitness related, or just something that we think you guys and girls will be interested in.
Absolutely.
So first, we want to jump on, see who's on right away. Some shout-outs. We got Jay Finesse. We got Mr. Simple. We got Bay the Trailer. Waiting for everybody to jump on right now, and we'll get into Therapy of the Week as soon as everybody gets on.
Yeah, Therapy of the Week's going to be a good one this week for sure. New therapies coming out every week so far. Last 2 weeks anyway, I should say. I mean, it's been pretty crazy as far as that, and they're really, really good therapies. So they've been game changers as far as even people that have been taking these therapies, because what we did is obviously before we release a therapy, I try it, and then we have some other patients that will go on it so we can get their experience or get, how it helped them or did not help them. We want to know what it was. And Sloop 332, that's been a game changer, like automatically. So that's been really, really helpful for patients. But this week, Massimorelin, this thing is just, it's a game changer. It's a game changer in a couple lights. One, it's FDA approved. That's awesome. For adult growth hormone deficiency disorder. So at that point, it's directly what we want to use it for, right? The next thing after that is that it's another option in oral form instead of an injectable that works and raises your growth hormone levels and IGF-1 levels. But the good thing about it is that, when we talk about an oral GHRH, you can think of Semorelin. And at that point, when you think of, MK677, when you think of MK677, you think of hunger. So with hunger, you're going to be a good disciplined eater, and you're going to eat good, and you're going to get good results, or you're not going to be. The Endless Light with Massimorelin, it does not stimulate hunger. So for the undisciplined person, this is going to be a really, really great option for them, because it's not going to stimulate their hunger like crazy, and they're not going to have to be forced to look for something very fast because they're not going to be prepared. And at that point, it won't cause them any bad results.
Yeah, because I know a lot of times MK677, people love it, but the only problem I've ever heard from people is they're eating too much.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of like if anybody out there has been doing MK677, they just can't control the appetite. This seems good to go. Yeah. So I know I was taking it before I went to bed, so that way I wouldn't eat so much.
Yeah.
But then I would wake up still feeling a little bit hungry. So which is good if you want to eat, but again, if you don't want to eat and you love NK, this is like a perfect alternative.
So, I mean, and that's the thing, like when we really start breaking down, like taking growth hormone or IGF-1 or even some of these growth hormone peptides, you really need to be disciplined on how you eat. And what I mean by that is that, when you're taking these things, you don't want to spike insulin while taking some of these things. And that means you're eating, right? And you're eating, and at that point, it's going to cause not so good results. And even with growth hormone taken wrong and eating wrong, you can become a type 2 diabetic. Yeah. So at that point, right? So, it's almost the same effect of, you might be raising sugar levels if you're doing this wrong. So it's important to be disciplined when you're eating to a certain extent, for sure, and especially timing. Yeah. That's the big thing, is timing, I guess. I mean, I guess you could eat really bad and have better timing and still be okay, but I mean, that's really the best case. So this is awesome. Utilize it for anti-aging, building lean mass, losing weight, feeling better overall. I mean, that's really the best thing you can get out of this.
Now, what in terms of injectable, oral? Is it injectable? Is it an oral?
Sure.
How long is the
it's an oral
typical
form.
run? Is
It's an oral form.
So it's a once a day type thing.
Once a day.
Easy.
So that's what I'm saying.
Half a day is the easiest administration ever.
Yeah, I mean, and you could take this one in the morning because it's not going to usually cause people to be tired, which is awesome. Yeah. And then two, it's not going to stimulate hunger, so you're not going to get a big hunger spike, when you take it in the morning per se, or even take it in the afternoon, whatever you want to take it. Take it before bed. Yeah. That's a great time to take it, but
I know I've always found taking whatever I'm taking, whether it's MK and clomiphene, anything, and anastrozole, anything I'm taking orally, I always find that either right before bed or first thing in the morning, depending on what my schedule is.
I agree.
So certain times people go to bed at the same time every night. So that'd be a good thing. But if you wake up at different times and your schedule's different in the morning, so pretty much figure out a way where you're not going to miss your dose and take it at the same time every day. So I love the morning time. I wake up, I just take everything, take my Titan Complete, take everything, and I don't have to worry about the rest of the day. It makes it a lot easier that way. You get busy and later in the day, you forget to take it, you get caught up. God forbid, emergency, something happens, and then it's kind of like working out. If you work out later in the day, you might have a crappy day. Now it's hard to work out. So
it's true.
Working out first thing in the morning and taking your supplements first thing in the morning has always worked best for me.
Yeah, I mean, so, at that point, I would agree with Drew 100%. I mean, even if you want to get, a little crafty with it, and you're going past the amateur level, and you're starting to get up there, and be more experienced with these things, and be able to utilize these things. We've got some patients now that are utilizing it where they're taking now Masamorelin in the morning, and then they're pairing that with like Tesamorelin and CJC at night. So taking it at night too. So because either way you look at it, if you took multiple doses of these medications, like you did a day and a night, and you did it correctly, there could be better results there for sure, 100%. It's just for our patients, one time a day is that might be a lot. So, we want to make sure that they get a good benefit from it. But if you want the most optimal benefit, I mean, some of those different things, injecting, a couple times per day is going to get you a way better result.
Yeah, it's kind of like the food thing too. Like, can't just eat all your macros first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Got to spread them out.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. One meal you're trying to get everything in. It's not going to be so good. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I see some of these people on diets where they're only eating one meal a day, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I don't get it. I mean, I understand other countries. Like, I know a lot of African countries, they eat once a day. But then again, they've been doing it for generations, and their great-grandfather. So it's like, for us, it's like, we're not used to that over here.
I know.
And not only that, those countries where those people are only eating one meal a day, they really have a lot of, they're on the lighter end.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these African countries or even other countries, Asian countries, I see Mongolia, I see places once a day. Yeah, they're fit, they're lean, but I mean, is it really optimal? I don't know.
No, I mean, I definitely want to have some muscle on
fasting and all that.
I mean, I'm not the big guy in fasting and stuff like that. Fasting for a couple hours, I've done I mean, you do if you sleep properly, right? You're fasting for like 8 to 10 hours, unless you drink like a protein shake or eat directly before bed. So at that point you are fasting there. But I fasted when I went to sleep and got up and went to like 11 or 12 o'clock. I did this a couple years ago just to see like a couple hours fast, because there's no way I'm going all day. I know like some people that we know that they go maybe a day, 2 days, 3 days. I'm like, holy cow. And like they'll drink a little bit of water, but as far as anything else, they're not taking anything in. So even I'll give it up for those people that do Ramadan, because if they can adhere to not eating all day, like, man, that's
but then they can go crazy at night though.
I know.
Yeah, they go I used to play basketball with a guy like a long time ago that he was on Ramadan. He'd be playing fasted, like I can't wait till later I get to eat, and he would just go crazy all night. So
I mean, but still, you eat yourself to to gorge at night, right? And then at that point, when you wake up the next day, you're still starving.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you might be a little. All right, I'm a little full from last night, but middle of the day hits you, you're probably gonna be like, all right, I want to eat again.
Other than for religious things, I mean, that's completely separate to me.
Yeah.
So, other than religious meanings or any type of say you have a sickness, you need to do a quick cure for a fast or something, but people that just regularly fast and they choose to. Now, it's one thing if you're in another country and you don't have the means, you don't have the food to eat 5-6 meals a day.
Right.
So a lot of times over there they have to hunt their food. So if they're hunting for their food, they're spending 3-4 hours hunting the food and then 3-4 hours preparing the food. Then they have one big meal. That's a little bit different. But I guarantee if they're over here and there was rice bowls in every corner, and they'd be eating just as much as we would. They just choose to eat that way because that's their lifestyle.
Absolutely. So, we got a YouTube guy. What up, Samsung? Hi, how you doing? Nathan Schrader said, how much test do you recommend? Well, that really depends on your blood work, right? And then your symptoms, like all these different things the medical provider would go through with you here or via telemedicine. We service nationwide and all this. But, this could be like, for like example, a couple protocols that we have for patients might be 150 milligrams. It might be 200 milligrams. At most, a patient here would ever get would be 300 milligrams. but like I said, it really depends on the numbers. It depends on you and correlating your symptoms and how we can best treat you. So, and all your medical history goes along with this too. So, you know, if you are looking for treatment or even looking to go down the path to see where you're at number-wise, we can service you guys nationwide. Just call or text 727-389-3220. You can talk to some of the awesome staff here, and they'll take care of you.
He's also asking about an opinion on injecting a fat burner. What fat burner specifically are you talking about injecting?
I mean, there's a couple. There's a couple great, you know, GLP-1s out there and like some other things that we have that can do some fat burning. But there's not something that I mean, I guess there is one medication back in the day where you can inject and it would actually burn fat. But, you know, anymore, you don't see that. And at that point, the only fat you're going to be burning is what we cause with weight loss.
Yeah. I know the Titan Complete has carnitine in it. Carnitine isn't so much like a specific fat burner.
Yeah.
But I know when they dose carnitine at a good amount, whether it's oral or injectable, obviously the injectable is better.
Yeah.
Works good long term for fat burning. Just a lot enough people don't take as much as they should for as long as they should. They think it's like energy.
Yeah.
Where they're like, oh, I took some injectable carnitine. I didn't feel anything. Like, yeah, you only went a week, and it's not a stim. So.
Yeah. So all right. So when you're not talking, no, I'm not talking about tests for health for gains, minimum 500 a week. I don't think you need 500 a week, even for gains. Right? Test for health can mean a lot of different things. A practitioner could say, all right, we want to get you healthy in normal ranges. 264 to 916 is the reference range, and we're going to get you to 300. That's a little bit above the range, and you'll be good. We don't want that either. We want to get them optimal levels. Now, if you're taking, let's say, more than 300 milligrams, right, even at 300, you're going to be flying. Like, you're going to be in the thousands for sure. So at that point, like, that's all you need. There's only certain much that your receptor is going to take in anyway. And if you're not genetic, one thing, 2, the eating, 3, your training, sleeping and recovery, obviously with 4, then it doesn't matter, like, how much test you take. I know guys that take 2 grams of test and look like garbage.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's the thing, too, now. I mean, even from the bodybuilding standpoint, I mean, I've been in the bodybuilding industry, whatever you call it, for a minute now. And I remember back in the day, it was more tests. You need more tests.
Right.
Now, believe it or not, I know top coaches, Olympic guys, they're back on the low T.
Yeah.
Like, they may take other things or eat like crazy. But for the most part, like 200 to 400, even top level IFBB pros are then really not using that much.
Yeah.
Because what you have to do is you have to stop using your testosterone as your anabolic.
Right.
That's what happens is people take 3 or 4 different things and they say, I need to get bigger, so I need to take more testosterone. No,
Right.
you just need to clean up your diet, maybe take some MK or some IGF, throw something else in there, keep your test at a base.
Yep.
So rather than using your test as, I'm going to use my test as my anabolic to get my muscle, use your test to keep your levels good, keep your libido good, keep everything feeling good, keep you, feeling like a better sense of well-being, and then use your other stuff, your IGF, your MK, or whatever, or testosterone, for like your anabolic muscle effect. That's like the new wave, and guys are feeling better, and their estrogen's a lot lower too, because when you're blasting so much tests, I need to get bigger, you could do 100 or 200 tests with MK677 and get way better gains than to take 1,000 tests and no MK. Like, it just works better that way.
And I wouldn't get anything from Amino Asylum. Those guys, that's an underground lab. You have no idea where the hell they're mixing that shit at. And most of those things are copies from my blends. So, and it's true.
If you're looking for something similar to what you're talking about from them, Hercules Potion, Titan Complete, those are like the top amino blends we have. And we're the originators of amino blends. It's coming from a licensed U.S. pharmacy, in your name, not bacteriostatic water with a label printed off of a printer.
Yep. And so, Nathan, if you struggle heavily to eat a lot, that's where Drew just talked about MK677. It's an oral GHRH, but it stimulates the G-renin, so it stimulates the hunger hormone, and it's going to make you ravenously hungry. So at that point, you can get in those calories. So if you want to grow, you can grow, and that's really what it's about.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mix in anything else right now. I would get your eating on point, or even add an MK maybe first to get your eating on point, and then at that point talk about what you want to do next and add in.
Yeah, I've said this for as long as first time I took MK. Out of everything that we have at MK, that's the one thing where I gain the most. I get strong, I get big, I get hungry, and I don't have that lethargic, anabolic, saturated, like bad feeling that other orals will get you. There's two major anabolic orals a lot of bodybuilders take that are like the main ones for size and strength, and it's quick results, but they have estrogen through the roof, water retention through the roof. So Nathan, if you're looking for something, MK, it's a cap. So you just take one a day, just like your other 50 milligrams of this or 50 milligrams of that. You just take one a day. You're going to eat like crazy. You can keep your test at 250 right now, or even bring it down to 150 or 200. So, I mean, but again, if you're only doing 250 tests right now, your chances are you're not going through the medical provider just because that dosing isn't a medical provider dose. It's either going to be like 2 or 3. But I would say go through a medical provider, see where your levels are at first, because you might be at 1,500 with 250 a week. You might not even need that much. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think you'll need more than that. You know, I think it'll be good. And I think Hercules and MK are going to be great to be able to utilize. And even with the Adderall, the MK is going to make you hungry. So, if you got to use that, then that's understandable. If not, there's other things that you can utilize naturally that will probably get you there, and not being able to use, Adderall. I mean, that's a Control 2, substance. I mean, it's not a joke, and there's no blood test or no diagnostic test that says, hey, listen, this person needs this.
Not only that, even if you are prescribed Adderall, we have stuff here that's similar. We've even talked about
natural.
Natural stuff that's similar, that's not going to kill your appetite, that's going to be a lot safer too. So I have a lot of people that say, oh yeah, I'm prescribed it. I mean, you can probably get it prescribed if you walk in and say whatever. But it doesn't necessarily mean just because it's prescribed that it's something you should be taking. I mean, unless it's from Titan, we're not going to really. We don't really over prescribe. We don't ever. As we're strict. We don't really.
We don't.
Other places they gave me this, they gave me that. I just filled out paperwork.
No,
never.
We're very conservative about what
Listen,
we do.
I try to get certain stuff, and I can't get stuff. And John's my boy. It's like a brother to me. And even me, I'm like, yeah, can I get this? He's like, nah, man, blood work gotta be. I'm like, okay, cool.
I mean, it doesn't come down to me. It comes down to providers and all that. So it's their butt on the line, their license on the line. And it is what it is. All right, so let's answer some more of these questions.
Women for Massa
Morellin.
For women.
Yeah, so we can start from the bottom if you want. Can women use Morellin for muscle growth? So yes, absolutely. So Morellin, I mean, it's going to raise your IGF-1 levels. So, it's not going to stack muscle on you like an anabolic steroid would, but at that point, it's going to be able to help you gain lean mass. And obviously with this, the more you eat, the harder you train, the more lean mass you'll probably get on. And whether you want that or not, I mean, if you take this and you're a regular feminine female and you don't want to gain a whole bunch of muscle, this is also going to be good. I mean, it's just really up to the person and kind of what they're doing and what they're doing as far as putting in the work and what their goals are to try to achieve it. Who would benefit the most from using Morellin? Everybody would. So, as far as adult growth hormone deficiency disorder, I mean, when you start looking at IGF-1 tests across the board, like our patients, most patients come back middle of the reference range. And as you get older, that reference range comes down lower. So, it's something that I think is vital, at that point, growth hormone is essential for our body and the way that it works. And at that point, when it starts depleting down, like all the other hormones do too as well, our body starts deteriorating. And then we start getting old, then we start breaking down and we start withering and then we die. So, it's a stem of life, I guess, to a certain point, I wish that growth hormone itself was able to be prescribed easily. And I wish that it was very economically affordable. Every year, growth hormone gets through the roof. And I had this conversation with Michael Hearn, and then he had Billy Gunn get on, and Billy Gunn started asking me about it. So I was telling him, I was like, at that point, if you got 8 vials of 5.7 milligram Omnitrope vials, right? If I order this from the pharmacy myself to a patient or just to the clinic, the 8 vials would cost me, my price, to get it from them directly. And this is a commercial product, right? This is not some China product. This is not some compounded product. This is the real deal commercial. That would cost me probably about $4,500 to $4,700. That's
How many IUs is that?
So it would break down to
5 milligrams is 15 IUs, right?
Yeah, so 5.7, it breaks down to, depending on how you dilute it, I mean, it really should break down to like 17 to 19 tops.
19 IUs?
Yeah, per 5.7 milligrams. It's usually 17, but I've seen 17 and 19 in the paperwork, like the little insert that comes with
For
it.
$4,500?
Yes.
For 17 IUs?
No.
Oh, for the,
Each vial.
So
okay, 8 vials,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're...
So it's about 160, 150.
I mean, per vial, it's like $400.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost, it's more than that.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be that.
Yeah.
That's what I remember the price was, you know.
And that's your price.
Somebody asked me on it. I'm like,
yeah.
So I'm like, dude, that's a lot of money. And then like you look at the Pfizer brands and all that, it's even more. Like Nortropin and all that.
Yeah, those are the pens.
The pens,
yeah,
real pens. I'm not talking about like the counterfeit pens. But it's super expensive. Now that might last somebody, you know, if let's say they were taking 2 to 4 IUs a day. That could last them, you know, a good amount of time, I guess, a couple months.
Yeah.
So I guess it wouldn't break down to be that bad, but you're going to have to buy it from somebody at that point. It's us. Somebody's going to have some sort of markup on it, you know, and that's going to be like, well, let's say $5,000, $5,500 or something like that.
That's why when I tell people, like, yeah, I can get this growth hormone from this place, and I'm going to get
200 IUs.
200 IUs for $400, I'm like, okay. That's cheaper
Red
than
top, blue
cheaper
top.
than protein powder, but you want to tell me it's real growth
Yellow
hormone.
top. I've seen it all. And, you know, if you do think, hey, listen, I really got to go connect with something that's the real deal, right? Then if you do that, then at that point, go in and get your blood tested. Because that's really what's going to tell you. Some people, it's always a placebo effect. Oh, my hands are getting numb. It's starting to kick in. Definitely starting to see some results. It's just been great. I'm like, dude, go get a blood test. Get an IGF-1 level test. You can do a growth hormone serum test too as well. But I wouldn't do that. I would rely on IGF-1. The reason is because I've seen people and their growth hormone serum is good, but their IGF-1 sucks. So like, oh, well, the product got, you know, like destabilized when it got to me or whatever, or on the way in shipping. No, that's not going to happen. And the real deal result, like, is what it converts into, like IGF-1. You want that to raise. And when it raises, you know that your growth hormone is getting produced, you know, at that point, like, depending on what the levels are, super physiological levels, so that you're at 500-600 in IGF-1. So it's just it's just something to look after and just something to think about. But my point to all this is each year it keeps getting more expensive.
I believe it.
I'm like, why?
I believe it.
You know, and they don't want everybody to have it. And the other problems were that the big reason why growth hormone can't get prescribed easily is because back in the day, what was happening was it was getting prescribed a lot. They used to be able to compound it.
Yeah.
At compounding pharmacies, it would be like $8 an IU or something like that. Or
it'd be like $500.
You know,
or some crazy. Yeah.
And then at that point, the pharmaceutical companies came after the compounders for it, and the prices started going up, and it just keeps getting more and more expensive. It just is what it is. But the reason that there's a big ban as far as prescribers is because people would go there and the doctors would prescribe this, and they were using insurance companies to pay for it, and it would be expensive. So at that point, the insurance companies were like, oh, what's going on here? Well, they don't need this. This is like fraud. And at that point, the commercial companies went after the compounders, and that was gone. And then at that point, the DEA stepped in, and now it's a hard thing to get prescribed for sure. Through us, no. Somebody else, maybe.
Got a good one from Paxton Hall. How quickly can you expect to see results from Masamerlin?
30 to 60 days.
30, so about a month or two?
Yeah.
So that's another benefit, too. Like John was just talking about the growth hormone, HGH. That normally takes months before I see people noticing results from it. So with the Masamerlin, first month, you should be able to see it.
Yeah, it's good. Even like MK, like you see it because you get the hunger, right? Yeah,
2 weeks.
I mean, you see it pretty quick. So with Masamerlin, it's been a really, really good one for people.
I don't know, Nathan, if you're still tuned in too with the MK677, like John was saying. I notice it in 2 weeks, and I notice other people notice too. Like when you don't say anything to anybody, and people are walking up to me, man, you looking big, you looking full, you looking. That's when you could tell. If you ask people, am I looking big, and they know you want to be big, they're gonna say yeah all the time.
For sure.
If you don't say anything and just say, oh man, you looking big. What are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry, that MK. Yeah.
So what's your view on throwing down 3 to 4 protein shakes throughout the day?
Worst case, if it's either that or nothing, I would say yeah, but I would try to get some food.
Yeah.
Or make your own shake.
Yeah.
The main thing with protein shakes is there's only like a few that are actually good. I know some of the, I'm not a vegan guy, but I know some of the vegan plant-based proteins are actually good because the ingredients is like, it's a lot gentler, it's a lot more plain. But for the most part, I would just say eat. Yeah. But again, if you have to either choose between drinking a bottle of water or protein, then yeah, obviously. But I mean, food's the way to go.
Fruit is definitely the way to go. Try to get that from from animal proteins, and if you have to, like Drew said, that is definitely something I would do if you have to do it. Yeah,
like worst case, you could find a decent one. Keep a tub of it in your car with a shaker and a case of water just in case.
Yeah.
Worst case, you could just. But I would just. It's better even to go just drink some egg whites than to do that.
Yeah.
You can go to any grocery store. Egg whites in the carton are safe to drink. I've been doing it for years. It doesn't taste like eggs, so it's not really going to freak you out. You can chug that down. 52 grams, all natural, no lactose, no sugar, and one ingredient.
Do you drink coffee? I don't drink coffee. Do you drink coffee, Drew?
I used to drink coffee. Now I'm addicted to tea. It's like, I'm the guy that goes down the tea aisle and I'm like, look, I have all these different teas now. I have caffeine free, regular, so no coffee, only tea for me. Black tea is my favorite. Right
nice. I don't drink coffee. I used to drink coffee back in high school. Black, no sugar, no cream.
In the cafeteria with the styrofoam cups in high school.
It would give me a little jolt before games and stuff like that. Like, because back then, like, I didn't have like ECAs and like, I wasn't drinking pop before games or anything like that. To get the stimulation from caffeine. I really didn't think that caffeine was that much of an increase to performance until later on in life. Obviously, it definitely is. And it's proven too scientifically. So at that point, coffee was definitely a go-to for me because I did get a little bit of energy from it before games, or even in the morning. I would drink it too.
I remember like playing sports, like football, like high school. Like, some of the guys would take like Nodos or whatever, like generic 7-Eleven ones, but I didn't. Yeah. But at the time, I probably because just the same thing. It's like, what's that gonna do? But at the time, I probably would have woke me up pretty good.
Right? I'm like, damn. I'm like,
what are you guys doing? Like they're just, after watching the movie, The Program, they're eating caffeine and slamming their head in the locker room, acting stupid. And I was just sitting there drinking Gatorade, eating Skittles.
Yeah, I am.
That's like the worst thing ever. Straight liquid dye chemicals.
So I mean, and that's the other thing. All those dyes are going away. They're going to be gone by 2026.
Yes, I can't wait till they are.
That's great.
I'm interested to see once they pull them away after like 10, 20 years if it's actually working. You know what I'm saying?
It's going to help.
It's got to help something.
It's going to help.
Especially with the ADHD and autism and all that.
It's going to help.
Think about where was autism in 1999? It wasn't even around.
I know. I mean, even if it doesn't cure autism, right? Maybe it'll help lower rates of autism. Yeah. But at that point, we know one thing. People are going to be more healthier because they're not consuming it. I mean, it just is what it is. I mean, those things are like petroleum.
Skin's going to get better. Digestion's going to get better.
I mean, so hopefully there's a wake-up call to the food industry that say, listen, guys, we better start looking at things real close here or changing things up because we're going to need to pivot, I think, because what's going on, as far as, in health and human services with RFK. So I applaud it. I think it's good. I mean, I don't know any of the other policies as far as that goes or want to talk about it, but that one is definitely good. Clean up our food, clean up our water, clean up our air, right? Let us live a healthy life. And at that point, that's all we're asking for.
I think there was one a little bit higher. If you go up, Brian, there was someone asking about, Corey, you're asking if we don't take insurance, but every week, if you tune in at this time every week, we give discounts on Therapy of the Week. So literally every single week you can catch a discount. Yeah. If not, you could always hit me up directly for a discount. But just tune in every week, discounts every single week.
Yep. How do you avoid building a tolerance to growth hormone therapies? So at that point, like, you might want to cycle them out. And what I mean by that is, like, if you take MK677, it's only going to be good for 90 days. Your body's going to get desensitized to it, and it's not going to work as good, right? So at that point, when you pivot, if you use one of the other growth hormone releasing hormone peptides, the mechanism of how they work is different. So utilizing these different peptides, you can keep getting the benefit without dragging per se, or having the cycle off completely. I mean, that would suck, right? Especially if you're on your way and you're getting good results. You're like, damn, I want to just continue on this train. At that point, I would just pivot, and you can get one of the other growth releasing hormone peptides, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, Nathan, that's a good one. Just make sure you use the whey isolate.
Mm-hmm. Beverly's good, yeah.
It's like old school.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that name in a while.
Yeah. Are there payment plans or insurance options for growth therapies? So no, they're not. And getting growth hormone, or they don't do any peptides, so that would be out the door. But even if you were to go to a general practitioner, you're not going to get growth hormone. And insurance companies, I mean, the testing, if the doctor would even be up for it, it's going to be pretty in depth. And at that point, unless you are truly indeficient, they're not going to cover it. Are there any supplements you should avoid when using massamarelin? So, no, there's no contraindications with massamarelin either, which is great.
Yeah.
That's great.
You could do MK and you could do semaglutide and
Dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do one of these GLP-1s right up. So, next week, the Titan Lean Therapy package, because we've been combining therapies for people and giving them packages and giving them a little bit of money off. So it'll be our Titan Lean Therapy package, and that's going to be Sloop 332, and you're going to be able to utilize that. That's been awesome. It's an oral therapy as well, so a capsule. You take it 2 times a day, and it mimics exercise as far as on the metabolic level. So your body thinks it's literally exercising and running and burning.
I was doing a little research on that last night, and there was somebody saying that they take their second dose before bed. Mm-hmm. So that way when they're sleeping, their body is like mimicking exercise and rest. And I was looking at it kind of makes sense.
It's cool.
You could take your first dose
cool.
Depending on when you're scheduled. Say if you go to bed at 10 p.m.
It's cool.
You could take your first dose at 10 a.m. and take your second dose at 10 p.m. right before you go to bed. So it's
super cool. So we're pairing Sloop 332 with retatrutide. And that's been a monster. Like, everybody that's been on it from us has got amazing results. Amazing results. Like, I'm like, some of the results, I'm like, no way. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, this is great. Mm. Like, even the girls in the office, I got some of the staff members that have been taking it. And some of them don't work out. They don't do anything. They haven't changed their diet in any way. And they've lost a good
But they all look like they do, though. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
So it was
right?
like, is all the girls in your office, do they all compete? I was like, nah, some of them don't even work out. They're just healthy. They're just healthy.
Yeah, I think that's one benefit if you ever become part of the Titan team, is that it just grows on you, right? The healthy lifestyle. Like, you have
a good point, because I realize that I've been here years now, and I realize that you see someone, and it's not even like they look bad, but they'll get more fit. I noticed that.
Yeah.
Almost every single girl that I've seen, like, they get more. And it's true that some of them don't even work out. Yeah. From the front desk to the back office to the.
We do got some more lifters in here, though. They're not competitors, but like Angie does. She does Pilates and she does like all these other things. She's in amazing shape. JJ works out. Front desk. She does a great thing. Meech works out. You got Anya. She works out, and then you got Liz, who's like
really
super.
Works out.
Yes, yeah, she's super intense as far as that goes, and that's it. I mean, you got obviously our guys. We got Dan, he works out. I think Brian hits a gym here or there. Yeah. He's been injured though, so. Obviously me and you. So
it's
a
collective.
It's really cool. Our providers, they both work out. So it's good.
Yeah, our head medical provider looks like
in
shape.
Yeah,
looks like she could compete. Yeah.
Yeah, and she has
She's
before.
like the doctor of the Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So super cool. It's awesome. It's awesome to have that, and for people to come in if you do get to come in.
And real quick, John just said, he said one of our head medical providers, Chanel, she's competed before.
Yeah.
So when you're going in, when you're seeing her, you're not just seeing some random person that has their certificate that is overweight, that doesn't live the lifestyle, that just went to school. Like she's actually practicing what she preaches. So it's good too to have, whether you're male or female, if you're a bodybuilder or someone that competes that lives that life, so you could actually talk to someone that's not just, that knows what you're doing, that knows what it's all about.
Right.
There's nothing worse when I see a nurse who just looks completely unhealthy or a doctor completely unhealthy. They know nothing about what I'm talking about. Everything they say is like off the book, but I'm looking at you from head to toe and there's nothing. I don't believe anything.
No, it's nuts. It's nuts. Is Sloop 332 effective for people who are already fit or just for beginners? It's for everybody. For everybody. Like literally, I'm started taking it, man. Probably about, it's been maybe about a week and a half. It's been awesome. Some other staff members have been taking it too, along with Loretta. And like I said, that's just been amazing for them. And the other good thing about it is it like puts you in a good mood too. So it's not like it's just, it's going to help you, as far as the mimicking thing. There's a lot of great benefits with Sloop 332. I'm really happy about this. And I'm happy it's an oral form. So people that don't like needles or injections, they have some options here. Like that's a good thing for sure. We're doing great, Lexi. Thank you. I hope all is well. And how's it going? I seen that Hormone all over Instagram. Is that product good? Same results. I wouldn't recommend them, but it's totally up to you.
That's what they're talking about.
I think Hormone is like one of the it's just like it's a hedge fund driven like a hymns type thing.
Oh, okay.
Will you want to scroll up on there, Brian, in the comments? Just keep scrolling. There was a couple questions in there. Dosage is going to depend on the provider. Coffee is good with milk or water?
With water? It's made with water.
Yeah, for sure. Keep going. Oh, there it was. Can vegetarians or vegans use mascarpone safely? And the answer is yes. So those are made from like gel caps. They're vegan friendly. So at that point, if you're vegan, you don't have to worry about taking any of our different therapies that are in capsule form. Okay. We made sure that we covered all the bases with that just in case.
That's good.
Because we have a lot of vegans that are patients. Because if you're a true vegan, then you need to get some vitamins from outside sources like B12, for instance. So at that point, we have a lot to do injectable vitamins and amino acids with us. And some of these different ones like mascarpone will be available to them too as well. So vegan friendly all the way around.
So Titan Complete would be something great for vegans.
Oh, yeah.
Titan Complete would be good because, when they're lacking in other stuff that they're not eating from the meat, they can get from that.
Yep.
B12 is good too. Zinc would be good.
Yeah, I mean, that's another good one for sure. All right, do we got anything at the bottom, Brian? We just answered that one. How's it going? What is the recommended doses and timing, morning pre-workout, etc.? Like I said, dose is going to be on the provider as far as that goes. But at that point, you can take it in the morning on an empty stomach. You could take it, I guess, towards your workout if you really wanted to, or you can take it at night. I would recommend in the morning on an empty stomach or at night, probably the best.
Jerry, what are your favorite therapies? You said you love our therapies. Just interested which ones you like right now.
So how fast can someone expect to see fat loss or endurance improvements? I mean, it's pretty quick. I mean, I would say in the first couple of weeks, you're going to start noticing these different things. So, I think, like I said, great therapy. Oh, wow, great. Anything else? Inspiring. The millennial community. All right, so let's talk about our topics.
Yeah, one of my topics was fitness matters more than weight for longevity. So a lot of times I've said it in the past. I think I even talked about it last week. I said you could be not overweight. You could be a healthy body weight, but not be fit, not be in shape. Mm-hmm. That's another reason why people that are underweight, they need to do their blood work. Just because you're healthy body weight and you look to be healthy doesn't mean you're healthy. Mm-hmm. To take it even farther, Basically, if you're fit, you're going to live longer, whether you're obese or not. So even obese people that can move around or active, they're living longer. Let me see. Being fit cuts the risk of premature death by half for people with obesity compared to those with normal weight and unfit. So literally, just by being fit, you're cutting it in half. People who are fit and obese had similar risk of death as fit people at a normal rate. So people who are fit and overweight and obese had similar risk of death as people that are normal weight.
Wow. Wow.
So even if you could move around and you're like, even though fit and obese kind of goes opposite, but even though you could move around, you're fit, but you're obese, you had similar risk of someone who's normal weight. So it's like just letting you know that like just because you're a normal weight doesn't mean you're fit, and just because you're obese doesn't mean you're not fit.
Right.
So it's kind of like if being fit is what's going to keep you longer.
Yeah.
So if you can combine the two, if you can be, if you're normal weight and you look healthy, people are like, yeah, he's in shape, but he could barely walk up the stairs and barely, stand up and sit down. So just to take it even farther, like, being fit really matters, whether you're big or small. And I know a lot of football players, people look at them like if they're walking down the street, an offensive lineman, they say, oh, that's just a big fat guy, but he's fit.
Right.
He could run.
Right.
He could run more than you. He runs every day. He works every day. So he's probably going to live a lot longer than a guy who's, not doing anything at all, maybe 50 pounds less. So it was just crazy to me to study because I always thought that, people that are bigger, they don't live as long. And people that are small, they live longer. You don't really see 90-year-old guys that are fat. Do you see any 95-year-old guys that are like old and really, really obese? You don't see it.
Nah.
You don't see guys that are in the 80s really that are even obese.
Yeah.
So they really don't make it that long. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I just thought this was an interesting study to being fit, how much it makes a difference. Like moving around does make a difference. You could be skinny sitting in bed your whole life not doing anything. That doesn't mean you're going to live long.
No.
Blood work is huge.
Yeah.
Like huge. If you could be fit, you could look fit, you could look great.
Yep.
Get your blood work, it could be trash.
Yep.
You could look like obese and you look like you could barely breathe, your blood work could be good.
Right.
So, I mean,
it's
crazy.
So true, man.
You see these bodybuilders, the people that know bodybuilding, you see these bodybuilders on stage, they're like, oh, they're in the greatest shape of their life. Chances are their blood work isn't.
Man, I don't
You
know.
see one of these girls in here, their blood work is way better than a lot of those guys that look like they're, God's structure of a man, blah, 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 perfect.
For real.
Yeah.
Like Greek god
Greek
statue,
God,
like I don't know how many people I've came across that, like, and like it's just like some of the people, man, like even like Boston Lloyd. So when Boston Lloyd, when he did the blood work, and I seen it, I was like, dude, you better go to nephrology right now. You're in dialysis, like state. Like he couldn't believe it. And Boston looked great. Like he wasn't like Greek god status at that point, but I mean he looked good. He was young. It just messed up. But like I've seen other guys, like they look like, and it's like you look at their blood work, you're like, bro, like there's some serious issues going on here. And it's not just like, hey, we need to lower down your estrogen. There's some issues with like your organs and shit. I mean, even like now, like we can see like enlarged organs, enlarged hearts, like there's different things. So yeah, super
Yeah,
crazy.
the heart is like a muscle, so people don't realize it. It's like
it can shrink and grow.
It can grow, yeah. And a lot of these bodybuilders that have heart problems, their hearts are like,
and you don't want your heart to grow.
Twice the weight of or 3 times the weight of a normal heart. How it's supposed to be.
It's crazy.
That's more stress. That's more pumping. That's more blood pressure. That's more everything.
Yeah, because it's crazy how this is, but every person, their heart, if it's a healthy one, only has so many beats. Yeah. That's it. It's a certain amount of beats, and that's it. I can't remember what the number is offhand. I'm sure we can look it up real quick. But at that point, like, you only get a certain amount of these beats. So it's crazy. So choose wisely.
That's another reason why blood pressure is so important, because if your heart's beating that fast, that's more beating.
More beating.
You only get a certain amount of beats.
Yeah.
If you're at 150 beats per minute, then that's more.
You're eating up time.
Yeah.
You're eating up time.
My heart to be like, boom.
Yeah, you're like, shit.
Boom. Like slow.
Oh, man. But yeah, so I mean, and then it goes back to BMI, right? So the standard in the medical community is BMI, body mass index. And the body mass index determines if you are obese, overweight, or you're in shape, right? Or underweight. And that really goes by a weight, and it goes by the height, and it goes by your age. And at that point, it's off. So me and Drew would go on there, and we would be obese for our height and our weight.
I said I was like, last one I did, I think it said,
I'm supposed to be 180 pounds.
yeah, me too. I was 100 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
Literally, I was 100 pounds overweight, but it said my body fat was like 20. Yeah, it was like 22 or.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no
And at the
way.
time, I never go over 10.
Yeah.
So it was like.
That's what I'm saying.
But I did it to prove a point. I was
Yeah.
like, I held the thing, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's to prove a point. Like, obviously, this is.
Yeah.
Like, they have those little handwriting things at all the gyms.
Yeah.
Because I used to work and run these gyms, like
Right.
at the sales desks.
Right, the
As soon
body
as you walk into the
composition,
gym, they have all those at every desk, because that's how I could sell you on training.
Yep.
Hey, look, you're obese. Let me sell you here. Buy this. But then if you go get a DEXA scan, if you get dunked in the water, get a real one,
Yeah.
you'll be like 9%. And then you go get one of those done, it'll be like
Yeah.
double that,
Yeah.
18%. It's
Dex is the gold standard.
best way to go,
for sure.
yeah.
That and water, and it's a good one too. It's
3
the best.
billion beats.
Yeah, over 2.5 billion beats average, right? 70 beats per minute and an average lifespan for about 70 years. That's all you get. Some say over 3 billion beats, right? So,
Wow.
all right, 2.5 billion to 3 billion. There's a little bit of
How many beats per day, I wonder?
but it says 70 beats per minute and an average lifespan of 70 years. So 70 beats per minute, times
60 minutes
60,
per
and
day.
then by 12.
115,200 times a day.
Wow. Over the course of a year, your heart would beat about 42 million times. Woo! If you live to be 80 years old.
Damn, this is really making me realize how much stress your heart
Right?
has.
Right?
Just imagine if that was like your transmission. Like, oh man, I need to get a new one. I need
Right.
to make sure that's your heart. Like,
I mean, dude, if your heart goes down, you're done. And at that point, like,
42
this is the other thing to be looking at, there's different diagnostics out there that you can get done and see, like, where your calcium score is. And where your calcium score determines or shows you, and I have a problem with this now, so is that it shows you how much plaque is built up in your arteries. And it's kind of crazy, right? And it puts it a risk factor if you're moderate or if you're low or if you're very high risk. So I'm at moderate right now. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. Like, and it showed me where the plaque was, and it wasn't particularly built up just in one place. It was just little specks around different arteries. Watch, I'm like, damn, I got to go to my cardiologist and see, how the hell do I reverse this, or how do I cut down the plaque, or at least stop what's going on. And he's a vegan. He's gonna tell me, you better stop eating your steaks, bro. And I'm not gonna be. So I'm not gonna stop eating my steaks. That's quality of life for me. So unless it's like absolutely necessary, and then I will.
yeah.
But yeah.
Or it'd be a different doctor that's not a vegan to give you a different option.
Yeah, for sure.
I
I love him. He's a great cardiologist, but it is what it is. So, all right. How does cardiovascular fitness impact overall health, regardless of weight? Obviously, it's going to do well. I mean, cardiovascular exercise is going to help cardiovascular health. Like Drew was saying, it's a muscle, so you definitely want to work it out to some extent.
Yeah. Also, Lily too is asking, is it possible to be skinny fat, and what does that mean for health? Just like I was saying a little while back, you could be skinny, or you could look like you're in shape, and your health could be terrible based off your blood work. Now, skinny fat is basically a term that basically means someone that's not overweight, but they're out of shape.
Yeah.
So in other words, their whole body could basically be skinny. They could just have a stomach.
Yeah.
That's usually what skinny fat is, whether male or female.
Yeah.
But basically someone that's, they could have skinny limbs and skinny torso and a big stomach, or just fat in certain areas.
Yeah.
But what it means for health, it just means something is off.
Yeah.
Something is off, whether it's your digestion's off, whether you're just... Something is off if you have fat in certain areas, whether it's estrogen. If you're a woman, you may have high estrogen in your core, underneath your arms, near your tricep areas, or around your neck, because that's where you'll have it. So, but yeah, you could be skinny fat or basically just skinny and out of shape or skinny and unfit.
Yep.
Is a better way.
There's a lot of skinny and unfit people. Think of them like a crackhead. They're
Yeah.
all skinny, right?
Yeah.
But they ain't in the best shape.
Yeah, they could probably run a mile and not sweat, but their heart rate's probably 5 billion per minute.
Yeah, they're shortening their lifespan for sure. What psychological benefits come from focusing on performance goals instead of appearance goals? I mean, I guess you're not really worried about what people are looking at if you're not really worried about your appearance, but I think performance goals go right along with what the appearance is too. I mean, if you're working out harder or let's say you're conditioning, right, speed training, and you run faster, that's still an appearance of it being faster. I mean, I don't know.
I would say unless you're like an athlete, if you're like a track athlete and you just want to be faster, and you don't care about the mirror, you just want to be like if you play a sport and you want to be better, I could see where
I guess like powerlifters.
Yeah, like if you're a powerlifter and you have the world record or you have a PR, I guess it's going to help you psychologically, like motivation, I guess. But
yeah.
I don't know. Everyone has different goals. Sometimes people they don't care what they look like. They just want to be able to run faster. I have clients come to me and say, I could care less what I look like. I just want to be able to lift this much weight.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well that's different. So for them it helps them. I know for me, I have a big psychological benefit if I have like almost like a self boosting ego boost before I work out.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I look in the mirror, if I feel big or I feel strong, it's like a benefit for the workout.
Yeah, it's more of a motivation thing for sure.
I guess whatever works.
Yeah. YouTube, Tom Dollaride. I appreciate Titan cares about my health. My blood work was off. My fault. Bad habits. Your team said, let's stop TRT until your blood work is fixed. I fixed it, and now I'm back on TRT. That's awesome.
Welcome back.
See, that's how it works here. Listen, we would love to make sure everybody is on TRT and stuff like that, but like, if your blood work's off, there's something off. Like, your health is number one priority to us.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care about the money. I don't care about that. Like, and we want you to get healthy. We want you to be okay. And then once you become okay, or it's there, come on back. So I'm super happy about that, Tom, and I'm glad the team's taking care of you. And your health is number one priority to us, and then we'll get you aesthetically or reach whatever goal you want. But we got to make sure the insides are good because, like we were just talking about now, longevity, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look great on the outside for a short term, but you die 6 months later or a year later, and it's like, damn, was it worth it?
Yeah. Another thing too is for people out there that are afraid to come to Titan because they're like, oh, I know my blood work's going to be terrible, this and that. Here's another situation where a guy came in, his blood work was bad, it was off.
Yep.
So he worked with us, we fixed it, and now he's back. So I know a lot of times people feel they're so far gone or, oh, my blood work's terrible, I did all this, I don't know what they're going to tell me. We're going to get you back,
Yeah.
So if you have to take a month or two off to get everything back on track, good. It's better that than not come in,
for sure.
Keep doing stuff your own way,
Yep.
Go farther down the hole, and it's going to be harder to get back, whether it's PCT or whatever you got to do. Mm-hmm. And God forbid you're in a relationship or want to have a baby or anything else, you're going to be... Yeah, so I mean, just come in, get your blood work, and get back.
Let's go.
It's not over, So many guys say that. I used to get blood work done, but then my blood work was off, so now I don't even go no more. What?
Like, that makes no sense.
Yeah, that's crazy because they feel they feel that once their blood work is off, oh, Titan's not going to mess with me no more because they said this and that. What? That's our job to mess with you.
Yeah.
If your blood work's off.
Yeah.
Like if your blood work is off and we're not messing with you, it means we don't give a F.
Exactly.
Like the other places.
Exactly. Like, all right,
your blood work's off, but now we can't do nothing for you.
Yeah, I mean, like the other places are like, all right, it's off. Don't worry about it. We're gonna charge your card and send out the meds, and then it's just boom, 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 or not even monitor you at all.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's some places where you might get a blood test maybe the first time. Yeah. And that's it. Like, or maybe once a year, and like, someone came back like, all right, well, it should be okay later, and then they don't check it for another year, and you just keep ordering, you keep doing your thing, and it just keeps, you keep hurting yourself, right? So, it really, it should be more of like an ethical, and moral thing as far as that goes, and doing the right thing for the patient.
It kind of sounds messed up, but if you don't know where your blood work's at and you think it's off, it's kind of good if you come in and it is off.
Yeah.
Because then now or then now like we could just work with you, fix it, take some time off, try this, or maybe let's do enclomiphene instead of this, or whatever they tell you to do. Like it's kind of good if it's off. Yeah. If you're trying to fix it.
Yeah.
It's if you come in, your blood work's perfect, everything's good, you're great, your testosterone looks good. There's nothing we can do for you.
Yeah. Even at that point, Hercules potion, something like that, might increase your workouts,
But I mean, in terms of testosterone, they're trying to get testosterone. Like we don't just give testosterone. Like it's not just.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't do TRT, so I'm not going to go to Titan. Like John said, we got Hercules, we got IGF, we got
everything.
So many different things you could do. Every week there's a Morellin something.
I told you guys.
That's the Morellin.
I told you. I said, listen. I said this year I am going to make sure that we stay on top of cutting edge therapies, and we bring a lot more bang to you guys, and we are going to follow through on that promise. And I've already got the wheels turning here. So at that point, I mean, I think these were great. These have been two great therapies right off the bat and back to back. Usually, I would be like, like a good starring movie that's out there. I would let it stay out there for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
It's like an artist that brings out music, right? Like they have a banging album. Like you don't want to follow up too quick because if your album you're killing those sales and that album doesn't do too good.
Yeah, you're like Boss Man D-Lo. Got a new record every week. A new hit every week. Like,
so these are good ones. These aren't just like but no, these are like game changer ones. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. Is there any more on the bottom? How has media contributed to misconception that weight equals health? Well, I think more people are fatter than ever. I hate to say it like that, but it's true. And at that point, most of those people in the media are fat or overweight. And at that point, they think that should be the standard. And even when you walk through malls, and depending on where you're at, and they're starting to take some of these things away, but you look at the mannequins in some of these stores, and they got fat mannequins.
Yeah, come on.
They're not pregnant. There's guy fat ones and girl fat ones, and it's not about
like
pregnancy.
Pot belly mannequins.
Yeah. Like, no, that's not the standard. There could be big and tall stores, and that's the standard. But the standard shouldn't be like that. And, hopefully we're going to get back to the point where majority of people, at least 50%. Let's go down from 60, 70% or even higher to at least 50. I could take half and half. Like we go into a room, half people are fat, half people are not. I wouldn't want that.
It's just bad that we're even at that. Like when I was younger, there was no.
Yeah, one or two in the class.
Yeah, like when I was in school, like middle school, high school, or like a kid, like. If someone were to tell me I didn't care about health. I didn't know about health back then. Yeah. If someone were to said, when you get to be older, half the people are going to be fat, I'd be like, no, they're not. Like, that's crazy. Now we're like, that's the goal.
Yeah.
For it to come down to.
Yeah.
It should be like 20.
Yeah.
Like there should be like 2 out of every 10 people that are obese, maybe. And not like morbidly.
Yeah.
Especially with all the tools and stuff we have, the internet. Like,
for real.
Anyone has a Wi-Fi connection and access to internet for 10 minutes a day can figure out what they need to do to be healthy.
I agree. There's more tools.
Like back in the days, I don't have the means to get to the library, to get the books, to do the knowledge, to write it down, to remember. Like what? All you need is 10 minutes and Wi-Fi every day.
And everybody has a phone.
Yeah. If you don't have a phone, you can go anywhere.
For real.
You can go into anywhere. You can go into a school. You can go into a library. You can go into anywhere and just grab like an internet cafe anywhere.
It's true.
More people have phones, I think, than IDs.
Hey, it's nuts. I mean, people's lives are on their phone. Listen, when I drive into Tampa every morning, I drive past, some homeless people every morning.
They got phones.
They all got phones.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about with a flip phone. I'm talking about iPhones.
Because you know why? Because they have a program where they get them for free now.
I'm like, dude.
They have that link thing now where they get them for free, and they have like a certain amount of
Dude.
Yeah, it's like $40 or $30, or they have a thing where they can actually give them to them for free now.
I mean, they can connect to a Wi-Fi and surf all day long for free.
Yeah. Because once they have the device.
That's it.
They
connect to a Wi-Fi,
a
free Wi-Fi. Yeah. That's why some of the guys are at Burger King. They stay at Burger King. They're literally on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, right near the highway, right?
And they're watching TV and the whole I'm like, holy cow, this is crazy.
Yeah, because I see them over here outside there's a Starbucks over here at the light. Because if you sit outside Starbucks, there's chairs. So even at nighttime, overnight, they can still connect.
Yeah.
But the police always tell them to move or whatever.
Yeah. So, I mean,
basically, there's no excuse.
Yeah, that's the point.
A homeless guy can have a Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah, if a homeless guy got a phone and looking up information or watching things, you can do it very easily. I think people are just...
You're going to see a homeless guy on the side of the road. Hey, man, I need some money. Cash App. I'm like, what?
I'm like, and when you see a hole in the side of a Cash App,
it's like, wait a minute.
What is going on here?
Yeah, that's what it's coming down to. Venmo. Like, what? Apple Cash. Like, what? How are you?
Oh, my God. I mean, that's crazy. It's nuts. Yeah, think about things nowadays, but that's true. But, yeah, so it's simple and easy for you to be able to learn and be able to get a hold of and be able to do. So, You know, I mean, listen, if you want guidance, we're here for guidance for you guys. Nationwide service, 727-389-3220. You guys will be set, and you guys can ask anything you guys want to the medical staff. Why is Bill? Oh, let's go to the second topic, and then I'll go back to it. So Shannon Sharpe temporarily steps down from ESPN amid sexual misconduct allegations.
Shannon's everywhere.
So Shannon Sharpe has been very popular in the last couple of years. I mean, especially his podcast was one of the most watched podcasts where he did with Cat Williams. And, you know, he started like basically throwing out all this secrets of Hollywood and all these different things that some of it came true already. The Diddy thing and all that. So Shannon Sharpe was a great football player. His brother Sterling, in my opinion, was a better football player, but both, you know, great players. You know, Shannon Sharpe's been in, you know, now multiple like ESPN shows and all that. And he's very vocal. He's always been very vocal, I think. And he has not been, you know, he hasn't been the most low-key guy when it comes to sexual relations.
Yeah, right.
He
had the live incident.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, at that point, like, you know, you're a black athlete or retired. You've got a lot of money, right? This puts a target on anybody that has a lot of money. But in particular, you know, because of Busby, because that's the lawyer that's going after him. And Busby just had he tried to go after Jay-Z just recently, and then those allegations got put to a false, and Jay-Z said he's going to go after Busby and the girl that said the allegations. But, you know, at this point, like, Shannon Sharpe's not Jay-Z. And Shannon Sharpe is going to have to answer for this because there's a tape of him talking about how he's going to choke her in the lobby and all this. Like, you know, if you're going to mess around, especially with OnlyFans girls or, like, you know, I mean, girls nowadays or guys nowadays, I mean, they can be trifling. Like, trifling. Man, I haven't used that word in a long time.
Setting up traps daily.
You know, and you know, they want the payoff. And if they see you on TV all the time and they know you got a lot of money, they're gonna possibly put you as a target and put you at risk. And Shannon Sharpe likes women. I think, you know, that's fine. Dude, you can go out there and bang as many women as you want. Yeah. Awesome. God bless you. I'll live vicariously through you. But you know, you got to make sure, like, you're covering your butt. And he had sex with this 19-year-old OnlyFans model, and at that point, she's claiming, you know, sexual assault and all these other things. So, I guess what happened was originally they came to him and told him about this, and then he said he'd give her $10 million. Well, she didn't want $10 million; she wanted $50 million. So at that point,
$50 million.
He said, "No, I'm not going to give you, you know, the $50 million." And they said, "Well, we're going to go public with this." And they went public, and now it's a big debacle. Now, Shannon Sharpe doesn't work for himself. You know, maybe in the podcast or something like that, he's doing that himself. I don't know. But his main gig is ESPN, and he's on the talk shows on ESPN. And at this point, Disney owns ESPN. And if we've seen anything from the past trends at ESPN, if there is just anybody comes out and anybody says an allegation, your ass is fired.
Yeah, anything sexual or anything like
you're fired. Anything. I mean, I don't know how many different guys have been fired over the last couple of years. If we pulled up a list, it would make your head spin. Yeah. Like, big names fired. So with this, he said he's going to step down. I think they were going to fire him, and they just said, "Hey, listen, we'll give you the option to resign." So, you know, we're going to see how this all plays out. But, you know, either way, his reputation is definitely tarnished to a certain extent. And you're always going to have, you know, a certain amount of people probably saying, well, he did do this, even if he didn't do it. And he shouldn't be guilty until proven guilty. And if we've seen anything from a lot of past incidents where, you know, the woman is usually crying wolf. Right, I mean, there's been, I guess, the guy at FSU before where there was the blonde white chick, and she said that he raped her, and they found out that he didn't, and you know, I mean,
but there's been a few football players that have been in jail because of it, and once they get out, they're just like, now they're screwed because if you're in college and you get that accusation, then now you go to jail for a year and you get out. Yeah. Now everything is fine, the charges are dropped, times or whatever.
Yeah.
But now you're 3 years removed from football, and now you lost all those millions of dollars because you haven't played for 3 years. You've been sitting in the cell. So it's like
Your train's off.
now you're literally
off.
screwed for the rest of your life, regardless.
Yeah.
Because you're losing all those millions because someone lied. So there's got to be. I think there should be like a harsher penalty for people falsely accusing people.
I mean, this was all supposed to be like supposedly a fantasy role playing thing because he did choke her. Okay, he did choke her, and I guess. Shannon Sharpe, there's a couple more people that are coming out now. I think somebody was like a former coworker just came out and said she got choked in office by him. So I think Shannon likes to choke people.
It's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of them now. Everyone's going to be.
I know he said it on the air a couple of times on people he didn't like. You choke them out or something like that. So it seems like Shannon definitely has a thing for choking people. I wouldn't want to be choked by Shannon Sharpe.
Yeah, he's a pretty big dude.
He's a big dude for sure.
Like 6'2", 6'5", 260.
Yeah, he's definitely he's one of those retired athletes that is definitely taking care of his body.
Yeah,
and he's a machine. So at that point, we'll see what plays out with all this. Let us know what you guys think. Should Shannon? I don't know. Should he pay the $50 million right off the bat? I don't know. Was it worth it?
Depends what kind of money he has. I know he's got a lot of money, but I don't know. Depends what kind of money he has. That's the way I look at it. Like, if that's all, if you got 51, if you got 51 million and she's asking for 50, I'll be like, no.
Because now
depends how much money he has. I mean, he's gonna make. He makes so much money. Like
that's what I'm saying.
With his podcast, and ESPN, he's making a.
I think he's got over $100 million. What they said. Now, is that all liquid? Maybe not. Probably not.
And then even with his views on his YouTube, he's getting like 40, 50 million views.
Yeah.
So I know the Cat Williams thing was huge.
Huge. It's the most watched podcast.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest one he's had.
Yeah.
And ever since that, he's been more and more. So.
Yeah.
See what's up.
Yeah, we will see what's up. We will definitely see what's up, and hopefully the best for Shannon, and hopefully he didn't do it or they proved that he didn't do it.
Just imagine what Shannon would look like with some Massimil on, though. He would look even more.
God. In my opinion, Shannon Sharpe's already on. He's already on.
Yeah, he's probably on.
He's on TRT. Like he just did a commercial for Hims. Like I think it was about TRT.
Yeah. He's like, that thing will have that thing jumping. Yeah, that's
or libido enhancer or something like that. But I'm sure he's taking performance enhancers. And he should. Like every guy should. If you're not in a sport, it's not cheating, right? You're living life. You want the best quality of life. You want to perform your best, feel your best, look your best. So there's nothing wrong with taking performance enhancers at that point.
The Neg's asking what he can do to increase his bench from 100 kg to 110 kg this month. Now with Titan, I would say MK.
Yep.
I'm not sure how quick you could get it if you're not already a patient. You can call 727-389-3220. Let them know what's the quickest way you can get some MK if you're here in the U.S. But things that we have that will be the quickest to get you to, what's that, about 22 pound, 45 pound jump, MK, and food, obviously, and TRT. But,
when you're talking about doing bench, man, I mean, listen, I know push-ups are a really good one as far as increasing strength and helping with bench. I mean, it's helped me for sure, 90%. And that you're just gonna have to progressively load up too as well.
Yeah.
You got to start putting your body like underneath that pressure, and at least start being able to do a little bit, right? Like going up a little bit. It's not about jumping from 100 kilograms to 110 kilograms at one time. It's about progressively moving up to that. If you want to do it in a month, you better start working every week on increasing the weight of what you're doing. And like Drew said, the best way the body's going to function is in when calories are good or above good, right? You have you're not in a deficit, but you have all that you need, right? All the nutrients, everything that's going to make you stronger, and that's what's going to want to do for sure.
Yeah, but 1 month, I mean, it seems like a lot of weight, but also to your recovery. I see people trying to bench. I just recently started flat benching again for the first time in like a long time. I'm slowly getting back into it, but a lot of times when people are benching, they're always trying to set a PR. They're not getting enough rest. They're trying to PR twice a week. Yeah. They're trying to PR once every week. I would say like save your energy, like John said. I would say do some push-ups before you bench. Yeah. So you get used to benching tired, but only bench, I would say, once a week, at least. At most once a week, even like every 10 days. That way you get 3 sessions in before you try to get that jump. Yeah. But main thing is rest, food, and water.
For sure.
Don't go in there and try to, because you're not going to PR.
The other thing it would be to increase caffeine just a little bit. I don't know if you're taking a lot of caffeine already. If you are, do not take more. But if you're not taking any caffeine or you're only taking a very small amount of caffeine, I would just jump it by 50 milligrams, maybe 100. Let's say you're taking 300 milligrams of caffeine right now. Jump it to 400 milligrams. You're going to see a big difference just with a little bit. If you're taking creatine, that could definitely help, I think, too, as well with the increase of strength. But yeah, I would be doing push-ups every morning or every afternoon or every evening to be able to really get your strength up to be able to do this, for sure, 100%.
Also, too, when you're doing push-ups, if you have a bar or if you have, 5-pound dumbbells, do push-ups with your hands on the bar, so that way it's mimicking the same hands.
Yep.
People do push-ups with their hands flat, and like me, I'm not really that flexible, so it's hard for me to get my hand flat, and my forearms get tired.
Yeah.
But if you're doing them with a bar, sometimes I know some guys that can't do push-ups with their hands; they don't go back. Like I know Big Boy.
It's hard for me sometimes.
Yeah, I know Big Boy. He's a social media guy. He has to do them on his fist because even me, it's so stiff. My hand doesn't go back like that. Once I go down, it can't.
And actually, doing my knuckles is harder to do.
Yeah, knuckles are brutal. Yeah,
that's the way to do it for sure.
Yeah.
At that point, you're right. And honestly, barbells, on the ground are the best. I think gripping like that because you can change different positions of where you want your hands to as well.
Dumbbells around.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
I really do.
1100 is way too much caffeine.
Wow.
That's way too much.
Daily dose is supposed to be the top. Daily dose is 400 milligrams per day. I mean, 550 to 600 milligrams a day, that's okay. I'm not going to say that's bad. I think 1100 milligrams is way overstimulated. And at that point, you're going to build up a tolerance like crazy. So I'm glad you did stop that and went down to 550 to 600.
Even if you're spreading it out, that's still high. So say if you do 600, that's like if you do a 200 milligram energy drink 3 times a day, that's still too much.
Yeah.
It'd be better to get all your caffeine right before you work out, and then just suck it up the rest of the day. That's what I do. If I'm tired before I come in here, I may take an ECA, or if I have to do a long event, I may do caffeine, but I try to just save all my energy, all my caffeine for my workout.
Yeah. So Nathan, that's where I was gonna kind of pivot to too as well. Instead of taking in this caffeine, you're drinking Bangs or whatever the hell it is that you're doing as far as getting this from these horrible energy drinks or sources. We have ECA Stack Plus, real ephedrine, caffeine, aspirin, B12, and chromium. So with this, you're not going to need as much caffeine because you're going to have this other stimulant, ephedrine. And both of them together are creating thermogenesis and helping with true fat burning. And then giving you the performance aspect of it as well. Plus a little bit of B12 and chromium to aid in the fat loss and weight loss function. So way better. I think you'll feel a lot better on it. And you won't have the calories, even if I don't know if Bang makes it a 0-calorie drink, but
I know it's sugar free, but I mean it's crap. It's chemicals.
You're still gonna get calories, right?
Yeah, it's chemicals, and I know with the ECA, like what John said, people always think they need more caffeine for energy.
Yeah.
Just with the ephedrine, other stuff will give you energy. Yeah. When I take an ECA, which is 200 milligrams of caffeine, I feel it more than if I take 2 standard 200 milligram caffeine tablets.
Yeah.
Like if I go to the drugstore and I just buy generic caffeine, that's what a lot of guys do. Oh, it's cheap. Take 2 of those. Yeah, you'll feel a little good.
Yeah.
But if I take ECA, I feel more.
Yeah.
I feel my lungs open. I feel it a lot.
Yeah. Remember, Nathan, everything that we do is prescribed. So, I mean, ECA is real ephedrine HCl. So, at that point, you can only get it with a prescription. Yeah. Those things, we have multiple doses. So, we've got some higher doses we don't advertise. We want people to make sure that, that they don't overstimulate themselves and freak out or have a panic attack or anything like that. So
if you're used to 1100 to 550, 600, I mean, I'm not a medical provider, but I would say you could probably get away with the high dose, just because you're used to it. But they might have to make you work up.
Yeah.
So if you call and say I want high dose, they may say we'll start you with a low because you got to be safe. Start low and then work your way up. But you could probably get up to a high dose. I know when I did the high dose, I liked it.
Oh yeah.
I think they were like the.
So we've got, a
couple different kinds, the white and blue, and then the white and red.
Yeah, so we've got, we've got the Hermes one now that we advertise, and that's 300 milligrams of caffeine. So that's a pretty good one. 25 milligrams of ephedrine and stuff like that. So that's another good one that we do. It doesn't have the yohimpine in the back end though.
That one sounds good though. I forgot about it. That's the orange.
Yeah, that's the orange one.
Yeah, I'm like.
So we got the pink, the blue and white, the orange, the red and white, and then I have my white lightnings. Those are custom. So, but not much. Like even in that, I think I have 250 milligrams of caffeine. And I have 35 milligrams of ephedrine.
Yeah.
So it's just a little bit more, but that little bit goes a long way.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we're at the end here of time. So at that point, we've got 2 events that are scheduled so far in this year.
Yep, we got the Tampa Pro coming up. That's August.
Titanmedical Tampa Pro.
End of August. I think it's like August 30th to September like 1st or 2nd.
Is
like
it?
that. I believe so.
I thought it was 8th through the 10th.
Let me make sure.
See, that's why we're here to tell you guys.
Yeah, let me make sure.
Let's see what we got event-wise. Nope, you're right. No, we're both wrong.
Oh.
July 31st through August 2nd.
I said the end of August. The end of July,
Wow.
beginning of August. Yeah.
That's really early,
It's
actually.
getting close, yeah.
Usually it's like middle August, end of August. So, all right. Hey, listen, that's cool with me. I'm good with that.
It's coming up close. I know it's like 14 weeks. Wow. I actually have a client that just decided to do that show, so it's going to be good.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
We also have the Hurricane Pro coming up after that. They're both Tim Gardner shows, and both are Titan Medical, official Titan Medical presents these both shows. So Hurricane Pro, October 17th to 18th. Yeah. That's going to be at the Coliseum again in St. Pete. I love that venue. Yeah. Tim Gardner show, National Qualifier Pro and NPC, and the Hurricane and the Titan Medical Tampa Pro are both NPC and Pro shows.
Yeah.
So you get to see the amateurs and the pros.
Yep.
I love about these shows is if you're an amateur, you get to be backstage with the pros.
Yeah.
So like if you're a girl or if you're a young bikini girl, you're backstage, you get to see all the girls on Instagram and the pros that you see in the magazines.
Yep.
You could stand right by them and see how you pair up. So
yeah, you get the action. Yeah, you'll see them in person.
Yeah.
Oh man, like this is what I gotta go against if I make it as a pro.
Yeah, I like when I see every once in a while I see an NPC guy bigger than the IBB guys. It's like he's ready. Yeah, he's ready. Yeah.
So it's gonna be good. I'm locking down Olympia, so hopefully I'll have that done here in the next week or two, and we'll be able to announce that too as well. And then we're working on some other things until I have them solid, sealed, and delivered. I will not bring them up because I don't want to jinx it. So yeah, really good events though. These two are staples of this area, and the Titan Medical Tampa Pro has been around a long time now. So I'm excited.
One of the biggest pro shows outside of the Army of the Olympia, and it's one of the last times you can qualify before the Olympia. So
that's right.
That's why it's a huge one. That's why a lot of these big time pros that haven't qualified yet, they're going to be here trying to qualify for the Olympia. Male and female. And this year, female bodybuilding is back.
Say that, yeah.
Female bodybuilding is back. One of my clients, she's actually a female bodybuilder. She's NPC, but she was going to do another show. But now that this is female bodybuilding, she's like, yeah, we'll wait a little bit longer just so she can do Tampa Pros.
That's right.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah. That's definitely exciting. And it'll be good to see the big girls.
Yeah, I want to see the monsters. I like the female muscle. I love it.
Yeah, we'll see the muscle mommies coming out.
That's pretty much it this week. We'll see you guys next week. Hit the bell on YouTube so you're notified of videos like this. Check us out on the podcast, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and also Facebook. See you guys next week.